Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? I can please have you keep that table chatter to a minimum. Otherwise, you can miss all this great stuff I have to share with you. In your package, there should be a sign-up sheet. We would like to know anticipated attendance for each of the upcoming workshops. I encourage you to fill these out. More information regarding specifics of the pitch competition, such as the length and things you will need to prepare for, we will make sure that gets out in short order. The very first homework item is what we call lead canvas. Ladies, I appreciate you asking the question. We will send that out via email. It's a single page PDF that will summarize the main components of your business plan. You will have that in plenty of time. 2 weeks from tonight is the workshop where we cover summarized business plan. I encourage you all to attend. Now, we're going to cover some business basics. And I'm just going to share with you right now. I don't prepare. That's grammar. I drop a 5-hour energy into a Mountain Dew and whatever comes out, comes out. One of the first things I want to share with you tonight is SWOT analysis, SWOT. This is really one of the true values of making a plan. And for those of you that are already in business, like, business plan, I don't need that. Your business plan could mean any myriad of things. Your exporting plan, your growth plan, your expansion plan, your recovery plan, your contingency plan. Not having a plan often is what leads to missing key things to help make you successful. Your SWOT analysis is a big part of that. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. This is why you think your business is a great idea. External is opportunities and threats. These are things that are beyond our control, but we can plan how we might respond to them. Please do not do an SO analysis, strengths and opportunities. We know you think this is a fabulous idea. That's why you're doing all of this. That's why you're investing a couple hours at a time, every 2 weeks, plus homework in between, and tolerating me so that you can launch your business and be successful. Now tell me why it's a bad idea. If you really want it to be valuable, for every strength you tell me about, share 2 weaknesses. For every opportunity that's going to make your business great, share 2 threats. This is the value, this what if analysis, this digging in and uncovering what might not go according to plan. Spoiler, and it's not going to go according to plan. This is going to be the true value of your business plan to help you grow and be resilient. SWOT, your strengths and weaknesses, which are internal. We know about these things. We can control them. We can exemplify our strengths. We can try and mitigate our weaknesses. And then opportunity and threat. External. We cannot control these things, but we can control how we might prepare for them. Any questions on SWOT analysis? Yes, ma'am. Strengths and weaknesses. I pluralized both with intent. You've got multiple strengths. There are also going to be multiple weaknesses. And then opportunities and threats. We've got a hard out time. The library closes at 8. So we got a hard out time. We got to police our space. We got to leave the area clean. And we're going to exit smartly. So we got a hard out time of 7:55. I'm going to try and impart everything I can, share what I can with you in our remaining 31 minutes. All right, no questions. Let's move on. Let's talk about KPI, key performance indicators. For every industry, for every business, these are going to be a little bit different. For an online retailer, KPI are going to be web page hits and how do people go from landing on your web page to actually progressing through to a sale. Maybe it's the revenue partners you have, by having a link to their site embedded on your page, and then the past few clicks that bring people back from there, all things that you're going to be able to track. A brick and mortar bakery, your KPI, your key performance indicators are going to be entirely different. It might be limiting waste. Of course, it's going to be profit. It might be number of people you serve in a day, reducing spoilage, bringing your cost of goods sold down, or your average cost for every unit that you produce, bringing that cost down. Any way you can maximize your profit. I promise you, revenue, while important, is not the end all to small business. Profit is. I have seen businesses small and big go bankrupt, making tons of revenue, but not being profitable. So we want to focus on profit. That's what we spend. That's how we pay our bills. That's how we take our owner draws. That's how we pay our employees. That's how we build the lifestyle that we're doing all of this work for. Profit is key. And there are times in different contexts that profit can sound bad. People think it's a bad word. Oh, you're in it just for the profit. No, I'm in it to be sustainable, to serve my customers in the long term. That necessitates being profitable. It is not only okay, it's not only acceptable. I encourage you, be profitable. You don't have to, but if you don't, your competition might, and they'll be the profitable. Any question? Well, there's lots of things on KPIs. So let's work through a couple of examples. Is there anyone in here who would like to volunteer, share your business or your business idea, and we'll talk through what some of your KPI might be? Big moment. Yes, ma'am, right here. Yoga studio. And your first name again, please? Sarah. Sarah. All right, Sarah with the yoga studio. I'm going to spitball this. You guys are going to learn better from each other than you will from me, I promise. Yoga studio. What is going to be one of her key performance indicators that lets her know the health of her business? What are the things she's really paying attention to? Okay, number of memberships. Now, just number of, and who said that? Okay, Brent, Sandra. Sandra. There's an N in it. I was close. So you say number of memberships, right? Okay. So what do you mean by number of memberships?
Her amount of members is the determinant of profit.
Number of paid members?
Paid members.
Ah, there we go. Because we can have different tiers for membership, right? If you've got a library card, you've got a membership to the library, but it doesn't cost anything. Okay, so paid memberships, I think that can be key. What else?
Operating hours.
Why?
Days of the week and hours. So understanding your customer and like their lifestyle, like if they're working in the day, are they doing yoga at night? Are they doing it in the morning?
Okay, and your first name?
Edith.
Edith. So Edith said operating hours and understanding your customer. And she nailed it, but not a key performance indicator, and here's why. While incredibly important, because I'm going to overemphasize with all of you that everything you do is going to tie back to your customer segment. Just like Edith said, understanding when they want that service, when they want you to be open. Doesn't do a lick of good to be a 24-hour yoga studio if nobody comes in between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. So understanding your customers are key. But if I'm open 24 hours and I'm counting that as a key performance indicator, it doesn't mean I'm being profitable. So on one hand, absolutely vital to understand who your customers are, but that's not going to be one of our KPIs. But I appreciate you taking a step forward and saying that. Yes, sir.
Customer feedback.
Okay. How can we record that?
Yep.
Okay, so number of repeat memberships. And you said Yelp, okay? Why would that be important?
Because nowadays everybody needs a perspective on the business, and before they go to a business, they go online and look for a report card on the business.
This is what, and your name again, sir?
Javez.
Javez. All right, so Javez said, hey, people are going to visit your website. They're going to want an indication of what kind of business you are and get a feel for what others think of your business before they patronize you. This is what built Amazon. Remember when Amazon just sold books? What made Amazon different was the advent of the online review. You were able to see absent thumbing through pages, reading the author's bio, reading the first chapter, reading the inside of the jacket. You got to see what other people thought of what you might potentially buy. What's the downside to relying on online reviews? Brad?
And it takes one to really kill you.
Okay, it only takes one negative one to submarine things. Why else? Yes, ma'am, and your first name again, please.
Yeah,
Sarah?
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like more people post reviews of these below.
Exactly. I'm a huge fan and advocate even of consumer sovereignty. That is, we vote with our dollars and we also vote with our words. However, what's gonna garner somebody's movement to action, good customer service or poor customer service? It's the poor experience, right? So you can be doing a great job. I was talking to someone today about their business plan. And we had a couple of editing things that we cleaned up. And I said, look, here's the thing. If you get this exactly right, they're not going to give you extra credit for having your heading perfect. But if you miss it, they're going to ding you because that's going to stand out. And it's going to be a little itty bitty attention to detail that they think you missed. So you can be doing things right. You can be killing it and not get the positive feedback you feel you've earned as a small business, but son of a gun, you irritate one customer and what might happen. Okay, now I say this to you for two reasons. One, be prepared for that. Two, we're also consumers in here. So I advocate to you, if you get good customer service somewhere, say something nice to that business owner, memorialize it in some way. Okay. What's your first name?
Javed.
Chavez, okay. Chavez, I think you nailed it. You brought a great discussion point with online reviews. I appreciate you. All right, yoga studio, another key performance indicator. What else might we use? Yes, ma'am.
Like, what percentage full bar over the month?
Let's call that capacity.
Yeah.
Because that can extend to a variety of industries and businesses. Okay, so talking about capacity, how busy is each instructor? How full is each class? And over the course of the entire day, are there classes that just aren't garnering attention? Or is everything at least 60% full? I mean, 75%, 80% full. Where do we draw that line? Where's our threshold? Oh, profitability per class. We can absolutely look at that. There's a word for that, starts with the B, break even, fabulous. So we want to make sure that we're always operating above our break even. Fabulous. And your first name again? Colleen, appreciate you. All right, one more for yoga studio. What? Yes, sir.
The different types of services you provide in that studio.
Okay, like what?
It could be like hot yoga, or I don't know what she offers in her yoga studio, but I'm sure there's different type of classes that you can sign up for.
Okay. So that's a little bit akin to what Eve was saying about knowing your customer and providing them what they want. But it's not an indication of how healthy the business is by offering a spattering of things. Okay. Now, Demario, you bring up a fantastic point. There are different ways, different business models that you can adopt. So let's compare Walmart and Ferrari. For their business model, they're very good at what they do. Say what you will about Walmart not cracking the top 1,000 best places to work, but for their business model, they're an industry leader. Now, Walmart works on volume, and one of their unique values is that if you wake up on Saturday and need something, can of pork and beans, lawn rake, new pair of socks, you'll probably get it at Walmart, right? They have most of everything you could possibly buy, probably at a pretty cheap price. You're not buying for quality, but that's not what they do. Compared to Ferrari, they do one thing. They do it exceedingly well. And either one you can choose as your business model, that luxury, that overpriced, you're buying the badge, but people are willing to pay for it, smaller customer segment, but bigger markup. Or be like Walmart and sell on volume with slim margins and still make great money. Here's what we can't do. We can't go back and forth And you can't jam the two things together. You can't sell Walmart product at Ferrari market. You can't sell Ferraris at Walmart volume. Choose one, be great at it. All right, any questions on KPI? Yes, ma'am.
For example, different company that we pay monthly fee doesn't have a company for saying. You have an individual membership that all we do up and down because I don't know how many people will come.
Okay, so
That kind of
I think we're straddling the line between what Mario and Eden said about being connected to your customer and having a true KPI. Because what you're talking about, and your first name, please? Miriam, okay, is consistency and predictability. I've got a couple clients in the construction industry. The antithesis of predictability, they're doing large government contracts, which they have been negotiating and been a part of for months and months. And right up until the 11th hour, they don't know if they're going to get the contract or not. It is a gut check moment every single day. So having a little bit of predictability might be great to have. Not necessarily a KPI unless we measure it in specific ways, such as quarter over quarter or month over month, revenue not deviating more than, I'm going to get all statistical on you, more than a standard deviation, not deviating more than 10% up or down, or a growth curve that averages 7%, 11 or 15. And then that average, again, not deviating by more than some preset amount. Now, I'm bouncing around with these percentages because every industry is going to be different. Growth in the online retail industry is different than growth in the construction industry. Is different than growth in manufacturing, is different than growth in food service. You can look up your KPI for your industry. And I'll bet you anything from dimes to donuts, you can do it right here in the library. Okay? Anything else on KPI? How are we doing on time? Lots of time. All right, hearing none, let's move on. Let's see, what else do we want to make sure we touch on tonight as far as business basics? How about a startup checklist? And I'm going to go through this quickly because we have a lot of established businesses in here. If you're in the startup phase, if you have not launched your business yet, let me see your hand, please. All right, good spattering in the room. I like that. All right, quickly, here are the things you are going to have to do. In some way, shape, or form, you're going to have to write some sort of plan. Make it abbreviated, make it detailed. I have seen an average is 16 to 24 pages for a business plan for a startup. I've seen shorter plans be very succinct, well articulated, and it gets the job done. I've seen business plans that are 30 pages, 40 pages long and still needed more content. It's going to be specific to you. You're going to have to refine your business idea and concept. So a business idea is any two variables jammed together. It becomes a concept. That is, I pass by a storefront. It's going to be inexpensive. I have contracting experience. I can fix it up. I don't know what I'm going to put in the storefront yet, but I only need those first two variables. The concept introduces the other variable. What are we going to sell? What is our price point going to be? Who is our customer segment? The model incorporates the element of time. That is, over time, can this be sustainable? And then your plan is your written roadmap to achieve that. And again, I am going to advocate that even if you are well established, having some sort of plan, or if you wrote a plan initially and haven't revisited it, let's update your plan. Every 5 years, you should update your business plan. You're updating other plans way more often than that. Your vacation plan to go to Disneyland, you visit once a year. Your retirement plan. your whatever plan, all those get visited more often than your business plan, but that's what's sustaining your lifestyle and your income. Now, every year you should review it. Grab your top 2 employees or your partner, your significant other, your accountant if you want to, take them to lunch, review the plan, sign off on it, make it a business expense. Alcohol doesn't count, but review the plan. Now, some level of industry and market research. Your industry is who's doing this with you, doing something similar or similar enough that your customer segment thinks you're basically interchangeable. To include your direct, your indirect, and future.
When you need a library card, please come to the checkout. You are using our computers and printers. Please finish, save, and print your work by closing time. Should release stations turn off automatically and close. The library will close in 20 minutes. Thank you for using the King County Library.
What was I just saying? Oh, yes, industry. All right. So your industry is who you're doing it against and with, and it's your direct, your indirect, and your future competition. Let's say you are a barbecue place. The question you're answering, the problem you're solving for your customer segment is, we're hungry, now what? So your direct competition is going to be other barbecue places. What qualifies as indirect competition? Answering the same question and being almost interchangeable for your customer segment. Who else are we in indirect competition with?
Other restaurants nearby, serving some other cuisines.
Yeah, sure. The Indian restaurant, the Thai restaurant, the Mexican place, all those things. Fast food or family dining? Both, absolutely. A HelloFresh box. Personal chef comes to your house. The grocery store. Your family could fast for a day. All of that answers the exact same question that you are answering for your customer segment. We're hungry, now what? You just do it in a slightly different way. So please understand the hyper competitiveness of most of your industry. Your market, that is who you market to, or your customer segment, is who you are doing this for. Nike sells a ton of shoes. Do they sell shoes to shoe collectors? Yes, they do. Do they market to shoe collectors?
No.
No, they don't. They spend their marketing creativity, budget, acumen, time, manpower, marketing to their customer segment, the everyday athlete. Shoe collector wants to buy our shoes? Great. But we're not going to spend time marketing to them. It's just going to be a bonus sale because it's such a small part of their overall revenue. So that's why it is so incredibly important to really understand who your customer segment is or segments are. In terms of demographics and psychographics, I'm going to explain each. Demographics you've probably heard of. It is what we look like statistically. Man, woman, age range, has kids, has a home, has pets, college degree, no college degree, industry they're in, general level of discretionary income, what kind of car they drive, what kind of books they read, what shows they watch. When we know what our customer segment looks like, we can recognize and we know where to find it. And we know how to more effectively market to them. Psychographics is how consumers make decisions. How can we capture them at the right time of day, the right time of the week, when they're feeling that pain point that you can answer for them? Who in here has kids, middle school or that? All right, fellow parents, cool. Now, you take your middle schooler to the dentist to get their checkup, get their cleaning. You're on your way out. You're like, oh, as long as we're here, let's schedule the next 6-month appointment. Compared to it's Friday night, you're watching Netflix with your betrothed, and you bite down on an unpopped popcorn kernel, and it just creates this new experience and pain for you. Like, this is your my kingdom for a horse. Other way, nope, that's right. My kingdom for a horse kind of moment, right? It's like, I am not going to make it to Monday. I need an after hours dentist. I need it right now. In each situation, what are you seeking? A dentist. That hasn't changed. You're looking for a dentist. However, in the second one, your level of urgency, how far you're willing to drive, how much you're willing to pay is entirely different based on the situation. How can you capture, how can you get the attention of your customer segment when they're in that situation where they need you? They need your answer. Demographics and psychographics. Imagine if we were to take the population of Western Washington and, do we still call it Safeco Field?
No,
No, Lumen Field.
no,
No,
it's T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, okay, T-Mobile Park, great, T-Mobile Park, that's where we're at. The entire population of Western Washington condensed into T-Mobile Park. It represents demographically and statistically everybody in Western Washington. And if we're standing there and we're like, okay, I want to tell you all about my business, we're going to go broke fast trying to market to the entirety of the ballpark. Instead, if we're able to say, hey, you guys along the third baseline, and you guys up there in sections 331 and 333, you're my customer segment, so I'm going to market to you. It's going to be specific, it's going to be purposeful, and it's going to be focused on them. Would you sell to someone from down the first baseline?
Yeah.
Yes, you would. But there are so few of your customers along the first baseline. Are you going to market to them? No. You're going to focus where they are. And that is going to be a combination of messaging, the right channel, your customer segment demographic. If they're young women, technologically savvy, you're going to find them on Pinterest. But if you've got an auto parts store and you're trying to market to dudes age 35 to 60, you're not going to find them on Pinterest. Pinterest could be the answer for customer segments for businesses in this room right now, but not all. And what we don't want to do is just start shooting blindly. Section 240, section 242, we go Oprah Winfrey and everybody. You get some marketing, you get some marketing. Right, we're going to go real fast. So the more we can understand who we're doing this for, the more successful we can be. The less we spend on marketing, the more effective we are in reaching who our customer segment is. I will overemphasize how everything we do is tied back to our customer segment. If we fail to do that, then we are all over the place. And there is no refinement and there is no direction to our business. There are businesses right now who have not taken the time to do this and they're successful. When it comes time that they hit their first challenge and they aren't successful, they're not going to know how to respond. If they're successful now and they haven't hit their first challenge yet, they're not going to know how to grow. They're not going to know how to scale because they don't know why they're successful. They lucked into it. God bless them. But they're not going to get any further than they are right now if they don't understand what they're doing. From Common Core math to operating a business to whatever else. You might luck into the right answer from time to time, but that's not going to be your sustainability plan. So understanding who your customer segment is, I feel is absolutely key. It's going to be key for everybody in this room. All right, we were talking about a checklist and you did one of those. So let's come back to that checklist. Right, I talked about writing a plan. Now you got to get kind of the basic things done, right? All your fixed expenses, things you're going to have to pay for just for the glory of saying, look at me, I have this. Right, so you need your Washington general business license, and then you need a local business license as well. Whatever city you're in, they're either going to require a business license or an endorsement. Now, when it comes to things like code enforcement and business licenses and all the different rules that municipalities have, please, there's a reason for that. And the reason is they're trying to create a level playing field. If you've got a food service business on a corner, you don't want another business putting their A-frame sign right in front of your door. And they're not allowed to do that because there's a code that prohibits that. So yes, there is a layer of bureaucracy, there is paperwork that you have to do, but it is all rooted in creating a level playing field so that your business has just as much of a chance to be successful as the next person. You are probably gonna wanna form some sort of legal entity. Now, there are probably some sole proprietors in the room, that is, you don't have an LLC or an S corp or anything else, and for some businesses and industries, that works. Here's why everyone might consider forming some level of legal entity or organization around your business operation. It is the separation of business and personal assets, revenue and income, and here's the biggie, liability. If you've got a home-based business, doesn't matter what you're doing. You're doing small welding jobs, repair jobs out of your garage. You've got a cottage baking industry business that you run out of your kitchen. And you have one of your clients come to your home in the throes of conducting business to pick something up, to drop off payment, blueprints, recipes, put in an order for a wedding cake that they're ordering, and your dog bites them. They slip on your sidewalk. An icicle falls from a gutter and right in the eyeball, right? We live in a very litigious society. Okay, the last thing is the last litigious society, don't forget it. Okay, we live in a very litigious society. If you are a sole proprietor, if there is zero legal barrier between personal and business, and you get sued, all of your personal assets could be potentially named in that lawsuit. The primary residence, the retirement plan, if you're married, your spouse's stuff gets named in that suit as well. If there's a legal separation, still a bad day. I'm not trying to say getting sued in any capacity is fun. However, there's an insulated barrier between business and personal. That's why we would form that. You would have a business bank account. And this is very important. What you're going to do is you are going to pay all of your business bills out of the business bank account. You're not going to be at the grocery store and be like, oh man, I forgot my debit card, but I got the company card on me. I'll just pay it back. Or I'm a little short this month, but my personal checking is flush. I'm going to make my lease payment out of my personal account. We're not doing that. Here's why. Remember, we live in a litigious society. So at any point in the future, if legal action is brought against you, opposing counsel is going to do their due diligence. And if they find out you've been commingling business and personal funds, they're going to say, hey, judge, I know what the paperwork says, but they've been running this like they're one and the same. We want you to throw that out. Chances are the judge will. Which means, even though you filed the paperwork and checked the appropriate box, you weren't managing your business the way you should have, and it's all going to be for naught. So staying protected with some sort of legal divide between business and personal, and then whatever layers of insurances you need for your business and your industry. I think there's actually a checklist somewhere in your package. So if I missed anything, just refer to that. Ooh, hey, we're coming up on time. All right. One question. Is there a burning question from anybody in the audience that I can answer right now? Yes, sir.
Where would we go to get like a virtual address for your business?
Virtual address.
Like you're saying that if I register for a business, I wouldn't want to register with my apartment that I'm living at. So where would I go to get
One, you could, or you could use what's called a registered agent. And all of your mail would go there, and you would keep that part of your digital footprint clean. Does that answer the question? Actually, good question. I appreciate that. Who in here has never heard of a registered agent? About half, give or take. All right, I'm gonna explain that at our next workshop through the SBDC. There's actually a huge discount you guys can be afforded if you want to give me one. For now, to wrap us up, Sue, I'm going to turn it over to you and to Christian for any housekeeping or parting words. Send us off.
We are here at the pleasure of the library. Thank you very much for having us at the library. We have 5 minutes to exit this room and be out the door. So I need a little bit of help with the cleanup. Are we collecting name tags? We're going to collect your name tags. You can drop them on any of those tables out in the front. I will grab them.